All right, we got Tick from LA. Hello?
Or maybe not.
Hello?
Hello?
Hello? Hey, Aaron, how are you? This is Big Shade.
Who?
Big Shade,
Okay. This is the
how
guy
are
that
you?
predicted that there was going to be nuclear bombs. According to the Bible,
Right,
there would be nuclear bombs used to seal the leak in the Gulf.
right.
Okay.
It hasn't happened yet.
I'm going to be exposing for the last time now, I think. The YouTuber out there, who I've known for many years, and his name is Sam, or Thick Shades, Shock of Christ, Uncle Sam, Thunder Fried Chicken, and numerous others. The Mandela Effect deception, it really now differentiates between saved and unsaved. This is what I believe is happening to Sam. You know, he's actually become haughty, just like Lucifer. Over a dozen times, he declares he is a god. That is utter blasphemy. That is Luciferian. That is satanic. That is so wicked and evil that it's embarrassing. Sam, you are not God, and you are not a god. And unfortunately, I have to be honest, you're not even the son of God.
Please, Praise, go ahead if you want to have a word to the audience or say something. Feel free.
Yeah, so about Thick Shades, I was caught into a little bit of his web where he would try to put me on a guilt trip that I was being mean to him, or I didn't address him correctly. I call him Thicky maybe one time, and like it kind of weighs on people's minds and their conscience. Well, maybe am I doing what Christ says? And they like to manipulate that. And he tried to
Right.
use it against me, and maybe even manipulated me a little bit against Smokey. And I just now kind of realized that in when I was talking to him it was like it was on his show. He was talking about you and your faces. He thought he had a ironclad case that he exposed you as a pedophile, and I was saying, man, like, let me just say, let me add something to that I was with Modern Day Debate for a while, and I had the database of phone numbers. I had access to, people like Aaron Raw. It was the Matt Dillahunties and other people, and I saw your name on there, and I saw a phone number, and I'm automatically assumed that was the same person that was being you were or the
Hmm.
person that was being accused of pedophilia, because it
Right.
was the same number that was on this realtor phone number. And
Sure.
Ryan never told me that there was multiple phone numbers that you supplied to
Sure.
James, not only James but also Ryan himself.
Him.
So I
Well,
was
he
kind of
didn't
being
know.
played.
He didn't
Yeah.
necessarily know I provided multiple to James, but he did know I provided at least a couple to him. So, and he also got a
Right.
story that he was not getting my personal line, so that he shouldn't expect to get an answer right away. And I told him that multiple times, that he was getting a secondary line that was abandoned by family members and I was screening. And he was told that multiple times. And he just conveniently forgot that to try and throw trash at me because it could fit a narrative. Because that's just how evil he is. It's not about doing anything righteous or just. He's always on a war path. Like, you want to talk about an actual reviler, someone who's always trying to tear down with no utility, no reason. In fact, all he's doing is going around people that are actually good at doing anything, like defending the faith or defending the truth or providing sound doctrine. He tries to destroy or mitigate or hold back, and he will face judgment for that, for getting his disgusting little gremlin nose, trying to basically mitigate and stop people who are showing clear signs of productivity. And he gets jealous and upset. Something happens. He's crazy. And he just switches on a dime. And then he's out to betray everyone he knows. And, one of the things that we know from a depraved mind in Romans 1 is that they're notably untrustworthy and that they're oath breakers and things like that. So you can trust some of these Christians online with like even personal family information or personal family stories, thinking it's okay. And then they turn around and use it against you. Now, what Ryan's trying to do, which I find to be probably even more disgusting than what he's done so far, is trying to pass the blame on me for his treachery, betrayal, and releasing privileged information of familial stuff and twisting it around to his own means. It's horribly evil. And he's now even going down and doubling down even harder, and it's really super disgusting. I hope you guys would take the. I mean, he'll block you as soon as you tell him as such, but maybe if you guys want to go on an opportunistic joyride over to his channel to let him know in his next stream just how disgusting and incredibly unethical and what a fraud of the faith he is, you'd be justified in doing so. I'd say that much. So.
Yeah, he's a backstabber, and he's in all my discussions with him on the phone, it was never about anything else and gossiping about someone else, you, Gavin, other people. Like, I mean, the whole thing was never about centered around anything really. I mean, very rarely it would be about Christ, but it's always about some other person doing this and doing that.
Well,
And he's always just doing that, you know?
he is, and it's his shtick, and he kind of almost wants to try and terrorize people, which is funny because he's always whining about being harassed or something on the internet. He's one of the biggest harassers there is. You know, it's just purely projection so much of the time. But you know, the thing is too is that the people in the community that we've gathered together in here, and it grows and fluctuates at all time, and I think because I pray over it to keep it at its optimum utility. I think we're almost all a little bit better off in terms like praise. Like you would agree with me that like we care more about spiritual awards than we do physical ones, right? Like we care more about
Absolutely. Yeah.
spiritual benefits than having the praise of men or high level of proliferation of appeal and recognition. I want spiritual awards. Let me tell you something. The things we've been able to accomplish in this community with people at a micro level is amazing. The type of things that we wouldn't really probably have been able to do if we were all larger. It all gets lost in the milieu, and we're able to give attention and host these types of things in streams where they're really functional and they have really high utility, much higher than they would be if we had even larger platforms or tons more viewers. It would be harder to mitigate. But now we have such a strong, tightly knit group with solid doctrine and appreciation for the love of God and true Christian ethics that we're pushing back in our own type of way. And we have scholars on our side. We have Dr. Falk. We have Dr. Kenny. You know, our community grows, you know, with each passing month, little by little, and shifts out, and people come in and they leave and they get what they need and they move forward. And I'm seeing lots of what will ultimately be massive spiritual rewards. And you know what? I really like it. I really like it. I feel like God has kept it at exactly a level that it needs to be for us to accomplish what we should be accomplishing. And you know what? I'm encouraged. I think we're doing good. I really do.
Me too. Yeah. I have to ask
So
something really quick. I didn't tell you this.
Let SFT boast
Go ahead.
over his numbers if that's what he thinks is so important. But I'm going to tell you what. He can have his numbers. I wouldn't trade his numbers for all of you and the type of communion we have and the type of community that we've built. Wouldn't trade it for the world, and certainly wouldn't trade it for SFT's view count or his sub count or anything like it. So, yeah.
Yeah, we have a close-knit group here, man. I really enjoy it. Oh, yeah, there's something I want to tell you about Ryan. That you think it's low what he's done to you? Well, he even tried to even dig even deeper. He tried to pit me and my sister against each other. He was calling her a bitch, and like
he hates all of her. He hates all of her.
Oh yeah, yeah, and he was trying to say, "Don't. Your sister's just a bitch, and she doesn't care about you. You guys are basically kind of like." A twisted family, and like, do you see what he's trying? These little seeds he's trying to plant, like these seeds of discord even within my own family. And this is what he's out to do. is to disharmonize things that are together and relationships that people have. And I think because he himself has never been in a relationship and he's never had anyone, maybe that's the problem. Maybe he has never really experienced that, so he's out to destroy that. And I just found that very disconcerting about him, that he's even willing to split families and people that are like the direct relatives. And I just don't think that's Christian. I don't care how you slice it. That's just not representative of the Holy Spirit, Christ, the Trinity, whatever you want to, all of them. Like, so that's one thing I want to point out. Another thing, I wanted to make a declaration out there that I am never going to be on Thicky's channel ever again, because how people try to emotionally manipulate me because of my kindness and I care for people. Because that one night, it was you, Dave, and some other guy there that were coming down on him pretty hard, but it was well deserved. But then I felt sorry for him, the word sorry. And then of course, he used that against me. And then I think I did throw you under the bus there, because I was trying to actually diffuse the situation. That actually made it worse. So that's it for me and this Thick Shades. It's done forever with him.
Well, I appreciate that. Well, that's good. That's good. And there's a lesson to be learned. And Thicky exposed himself further to yet another person, which is exactly why I do this too, because I want him to be known so that people aren't fooled. For a while here, he was fooled. He fooled a lot of people in this community into just kind of accepting him passively as a Christian. And since I started exposing him and pointing out his disgusting statements, he would persist. He would just continue to persist further and further. And I could see, and even Kenny, really affirm, like, there's just something demonic about the guy. I mean, it's just, and each one of us, even Dave has commented, you just get like a creeped out feeling from him. You know what I mean? Like, there's just something really, really off. There you go. Dave's here. Hey, Dave, how you doing, bro? Good day. Dave, you know what? Dave's another one I've appreciated. This is someone else who's like part of our family, and crew, and has really been a part of the good fight and exposition of scripture, and is a great guy. And I love Dave. Dave's been great. I think you should debate him. I think you should get something set up. Go for it.
I love Dave. Yeah, he's awesome.
Here, let's put a poll up here. I'll tell you what. Let's put a poll up. Let's see if the audience wants us to debate Dave. Let's see. Dave debate Thick Shades. I'm gonna put this on the Smoky St. Pete Speaks channel. You want to see the news unit debate Thick Shits. All right, cool. All right, ask the community. There we go. See what people think, Dave. We'll see what they think. We'll get a poll from the audience here. I'll debate him on his Holy Spirit spook. I love Dave. So I wanted to show you something, and praise, I hope this would help concrete it for you, of the demonstration of a mind that is very double-minded, duplicitous, unstable in all his ways, all of these scriptures. I almost feel like I want to start doing a little reading on the second channel. Maybe after this, I'll pick it up. I want to start doing a little reading through Proverbs, actually. It's been a hot minute since I've done this. So look at this, praise. Do you see this comment here? Right here? Oh, if praise stepped away. He may have stepped away. Let me read this to you guys real quick. This is Ryan the Presbyterian. This is just to show you guys that he's just a lying deviant, and he's just trying to cover for his own failure and deception, trickery, treachery, all of that stuff. And here's what he says. He says, I resolutely condemn anyone going after Smokey's family, attempting to dox them. I have not engaged in this nor condone it. It's an ungodly thing, much like Smokey Saint putting out all his pedophile breadcrumbs. This didn't happen. Ryan exposed privileged private information that was given to him in confidence about family relations, which he then twisted around to his own machinations, to his own desire to attempt to throw a bunch of slander and horse crap at me, and a bunch of idiots and deviants followed along with it. So he's just trying to escape accountability for what all of us know he did, which even Thick Shades knows he did. And even as the recorded phone calls of Ryan admitting that he is the source of all of this, all of it, absolutely all of it, twisting around the narrative and lying about it. I was willing to forgive him. I was willing to forgive him and let it go and move forward, but then he goes back to pulling the same crap. And there's streams where Ryan is repetitively admitting just previously that this person is not me. Not me. And yet now he's going to go back on it again and now say it is me. See? So he came into the streams admitting he can't talk about it. He doesn't actually know anything about it. Couldn't get any real information about it. Knows that it's not me. And now he comes back and like, oh, it's me again. So he's given information in confidence. He then betrays that person with confidence, twists the information around, uses it for evil means, and then goes back and blames the person that he betrayed. You're right, Dr. Falk. It is very, very disgusting. I'm almost hoping, if any of you actually do know, the hometown where Ryan is in, and the Presbyterian church that would be there, I will let you know that Dr. Kenny Rhodes, my pastor and mentor, is very interested in having a conversation with Ryan's pastor about his disgusting, unethical, foul, borderline criminal online antics and tactics. So, says, got this phone number up here. Yep, I guess that's the one they were passing around. Now, do you see how bold he's getting? Now he's even posting phone numbers. See, Ryan normally do you see the level of desperation? See, now he's even going further. Do you see this praise? Posting phone numbers now?
No, I didn't even know that. Yeah. I don't.
You
Did
see
you
that?
put this up?
Yeah. You see it?
3 hours ago. Yeah, I see that now.
Now he's even, because he's so desperate, he's so caught, he's so exposed. Now he's even exposing himself even further, going extra deep and putting phone numbers out there. Well, you guys are welcome to call that if you want, if you think that does you anything. Feel free. Again, not my number. So not really going to be hurting me too much. If you guys want to bug that number to death, feel free by all means. If anything, it's just more extra info for the file for harassment. So
yep, that's the number that was on James's profile. Isn't that interesting?
There you go. So he's sharing that around. So that's now the level that he's reached down into. So because he knows what he can do to try and strike and try and spin the narrative to try and protect himself. It's just evil. It's just frankly just particularly very, very evil. So yeah, ridiculous states of affairs. My personal number is secure, and so is my business line. I would not have given that to anyone else out there, but I'm also not going to open up, a fourth or fifth or sixth line, at the time when I have spares that I can already give out, and things like that. So, and that's exactly what happened. So, and in any case, ultimately, all of this has been a hunt for ultimately what ends up to be a real slanderous tale of people telling a whole bunch of stories about something they know nothing about. My hope is that eventually the real story of this individual can actually come out, because every single one of you are going to feel like real shit that you went and attacked a victim, a real victim, a victim of a horrible person who was willing to do horrible things for personal benefit. And all the people that picked at this and ran with it and tried to make a big thing and judged unrighteously and judged falsely and judged incorrectly, it will be a stain on you for the rest of your supposed career and reputation. And you will have fallen into that big grand issue, which you won't be able to backtrack from. And it'll follow you. It'll follow you. The fact that you engaged in actual proactive attacking of victims based upon assumptions, slander, rumor, nonsense, a whole bunch of people with no reading comprehension coming to various judgmental conclusions, knowing nothing about any of it. And why? Well, in no other context would anyone do this unless they were fueled by hatred and desperation. You would never look at a few lines on a page and come to a whole series of conclusions about guilt, innocence, identity, details. No one normally would ever do that. No one rational, no one sane, no one moral. And yet they all did it here. And let that be a testament to all of you, to who these people actually are, down at their heart, down at their core, vile, wicked, evil. And if there's anything to be taken from this, not an exposition of me, it's an exposition of their personal, disgusting, inferior, and fraudulent character. And now you are all saved. You are all given yourselves plenty of ample evidence to be on guard against such people that are out to ruin and destroy and serving their father Satan, engaging in the spirit of actual reviling, not the false definition they try to opportunistically use, which they also hypocritically employ, but the actual real one, of which they stand cursed and condemned under the hand of God, and particularly Ryan as well. His gossip, his constant backbiting, his constant spreading of nonsense. It's been noticed by both sides of the two communities that he's tried to merge with, and he's burned bridges on both sides. And Olive always knew, Praise. Olive always knew what he was, really.
She did.
Olive pretty much sniffed him out from day freaking one. And we, you and me tried to almost give him a little more benefit of the doubt here and there. But you know what? Olive was right. Olive had his number from day one. You know what, Olive? We really should have listened to you. You had it. You had it spot on about Ryan, just across the board. And you were absolutely right. He was a piece of trash. He was showing signs of a lack of attachment to any real Christian ethics and morals. He acted like a woman. He was very effeminate. He would want to do nothing but gossip all the time. He had very little substance. And you know what, Olive? You nailed it. You just, across the board, perfect score, spot on discernment. Olive nailed it, Praise. She did.
She did. She knew he was divisive and malicious, this character. And I was like, come on, Olive. Like, he's just a sad guy living by himself out in the middle of Louisiana, wherever the hell he lives. And I always give Ryan the benefit of the doubt because I felt sorry for him, And he was always an angry little man every time I talked to him on the phone. He was angry at something, or even me, some of the times. Like, Praise, you gotta stop doing this with your community. And he always likes to dispense his own, I don't know what's wrong with him. He just needs to loosen up, Maybe he needs a woman or something.
Look at this. Dave saying Wild Heart opened up a POF account and went full tilt to those digital hustlers on there. Wait, is that a thing? Hold on. Is that a thing? Did he just do that on his channel? I'll go check out his channel real quick. If that's true, I bet that's something. Can you imagine Wild Heart getting kind of tipsy? Yeah, yo, are you a whore?
I was looking at that Plenty of Fish thing because I just took a quick glance, and man, there's some pretty explicit stuff in there. I didn't know that.
It's it's insane. It's insane these days what they're allowed to get away with. It's just, the whole environment is toxic as living. I don't even mess with it anymore. I just can't even mess with it. It's just absolutely ridiculous. And it doesn't really even matter to let me tell you something. Between business stuff, life stuff, family stuff, internet stuff, doing this thing that I'm doing here on this channel, you know what? This eats up my time. I don't have time for things like I used to do, maybe play some video games or, kick back and, I don't know, watch a sitcom or Netflix or something. I just so rarely do any of that other stuff. It's work, study, channel stuff. When I figure, you know what, I can rest when I'm dead. If there's any real justice in God, he'll probably cast me into oblivion anyway. So, I'll rest when I'm dead as far as I'm concerned.
True that.
Yeah. So Ryan is duplicitous, and I would encourage all of you guys to be on guard with him. Seriously, you can't trust him, and you should let other people know too that you can't trust him, because he is the type of person to betray. Now, what he did to me to betray me is fine. It is potentially harmful and hurtful. And thank you, Praise, for admitting at least that you really were hoping to make it better. But the demons, the demons will never make it better.
Yeah, I
And
was trying to diffuse it. It
yeah,
was stupid.
negotiating with
Yeah.
demons and terrorists never makes
Nope.
anything better.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So and the thing is too is that Ryan now I think is just really through this. Ultimately, Ryan ends up being extra exposed, which maybe is exactly what needed to happen. So I'm ultimately, fine with that and see that there's potentially some divine design in that because now, I mean, the final nail in the coffin of his credibility, I think, is pretty much sealed, at this point. I mean, not only is he saying, oh, I'm not supporting this doxing of Smokey and his family, in the very next post is him trying to engage in this supposed crap. So, it is clearly he is duplicitous, he's untrustworthy, he fits more of someone completely abandoning the sense of Christian ethics and morals, serving his flesh, enslaved to his flesh, and then calling it Christianity. And I think it's blatant at this point. And this has been something that I think has unveiled it to you and helped you guys be on guard. And also be more protective to yourselves too. You don't just trust someone because they claim to be a Christian. Like you need to really like run the gauntlet with them to see what their mettle actually is. You tell a Christian not by what they profess to be or how they act when everything's going right, but you do it when you see how things are not going right, when they're actually tested what it is that they end up choosing to do. That's what ends up
Right.
showing the true mettle of a Christian. So anyway. Anything else you wanted to say, Praise? That's about all I had to say on this particular topic.
No, man, I appreciate you having me on, and it was a good talking with you. I might go on to Clubhouse and broadcast it on my StreamYard
Sure.
if anyone wants to join in there.
Sure,
Sweet,
I might
man.
pop over there. Cool, man. Appreciate it, bro. Okay, well, thanks so much, Praise. I appreciate you. Have yourself a good day, man. Take care.
You too, man. Take care.
Excellent. So, and as you guys can see, I'm not about, the maliciousness of any of this, which is what the demons do. You see, to me, it always has to be about bringing about utility for the protection of you and for the shaking awake of them. I will tear down all the strongholds. When the strongholds are attached onto people's egos and identities, that's something that has to get torn down along with them, even if they're resistant to it. Kenny had a great video today. That I want to share, which he put in some interesting terms that I might disagree with in some ways. But again, Kenny and we are permitted to have some disagreements in some areas. And while I do agree with him in some regards to some of the things that he has stated in terms of correct direction of methodology, I also realize that each one of us aren't going to have a pristine, crystalline vision all the time of exactly how or what should be done. At the end of the day, I don't think I really regret any of it, honestly. Not a single bit of it. I mean, how could I? When I've seen the amount of good and community that's been built and how it continues to grow, and it's not based upon contradictions or emotionalness or anything like that. It's based upon truth. So it's stronger than the rest. It's stronger than what these other groups have incorporated as their prioritization. Like what we've built here feels familial, really. Like the people that are regular contributors of this channel and are a part of it, and Praise's channel and Dave's channel and that type of stuff. There's a strength and unity of community that even these other deviant little networks that we've exposed, they can't replicate. They can't synthesize it. It's been incredible. It's chased away some of my cynicism about the true church being ultimately stifled. Because it is alive, but sometimes it's just a remnant. And sometimes it just exists in pockets. That to me has been an amazing thing. I love the idea that this community is built upon something that is prioritized properly. The idea that you guys are adhering to the truth, the cautionary tales, the examples that are presented, and you get growth from it. You get inspiration. All of the threats, all of the slander, all of the bullshit, guess what? That'll all be answered in the end. And guess what? Because I know that, because I know it'll all get answered in the end and that God is just and He has control over it and I can trust it to Him, that brings you peace. You know what it talks about? The fruit of the Holy Spirit is peace. Isn't that what it says? So you demonstrate to have some peace. Well, what is that peace connected to? Is the peace not connected in confidence? Breaking HT. Breaking news, Ryan live. Yeah, okay, well, I don't know that's Dave's gone crazy in the side chat with the Lord. I'm not going to put his video up because he might copyright strike me. That's something. Well, maybe I could put the audio up then. Usually it won't matter. It's going to be more lies, more bullshit. I really almost don't care. Like I've said what I've said about it, and he's going to continue to bury himself. Dave, you can open it up and cover it a bit if you want. If you want to lay into him a bit, and I can go join you over there. I'm about to wrap this up anyway. I need to get myself a coffee and get some more paperwork done here. Anyway, just giving a few closing thoughts. Do I have any self-awareness? Yes, Ted. Yes. Unfortunately, you don't. Because otherwise you would feel some sense of shame for some of the ridiculous and dumb things that you persistently say. Anyway. So yes, Ryan is a treacherous piece of trash. And if anyone is aware or has any connection of the idea of what church he actually attends, if he even does at all, Dr. Kenny Rhodes would like to have a talk with his pastoral authority. And we are all confident that Ryan will be found up lacking his connection crowd. he has to get his internet from the gym or something. Can't afford to buy his own internet. Maybe he's just ultimately jealous of everyone because he's just so incapable of doing or being anything, like anything substantive. What did P. Mars say about him? What was it? Squatting 400 pounds or something. Something ridiculous. I appreciate you guys for being a part of it. Yes, he's a duplicitous twat. I may has to warm up to that 300 baud modem. You remember that? You know, see, I remember when I was a kid, because I'm old enough, that when you got that AOL disc in the mail, you remember how AOL, America Online, that used to be a thing? And they'd send you the CD-ROM in the mail. They just hand those things out like candy, like people were building artwork with them and crap, because they just send out so many. And you get an America Online disc, and you get in, and you install it, and you load it up, and it just make that god-awful, terrible dial-up noise for like 20, 30 seconds. You know, that type thing. Just that. Like, yeah, that. Yeah, he's got to deal with that. Trying to get his tablet connected through a landline modem in some backwoods swamp somewhere. Told you, you would not be allowed any contribution either on the stream or in the side chat that would highlight him being a lying, disgusting, opportunistic scumbag. Breaking you down to make you a better Christian. I don't know what that means. You have to, you know, see, Ted, this is the problem. See, like, you know, your brain is not capable, seemingly, of stringing together a functional, coherent argument. You know what? I want an omelet suddenly for some reason. I'm going to make myself an omelet after this. You know, Ted, part of the issue is that you fail to have your own sense of self-awareness. You're not able to bring me down or tear me down. You would have to be able to say something substantive, coherent, true. something that actually had the ability to attack something intrinsically core and prioritized to my own identity and ego, of which you will not be able to locate because such things have been forsaken for the sake of the betterment of the glory of the kingdom of God and to the service of the cross. You do not understand that, as you do not even identify as a Christian. So, of course, as you pull up just after every single one of your statements, just saying, you advertise that nothing you say is worthy of being considered or taken seriously. You're just basically a bunch of worthless, idiotic mouth noise that's wasting people's time. Hence, I'm not going to dedicate any more to you. Mods, you can feel free to time him out. At this point, I'm about to shut this down and go and make myself an omelet. This is true, Andrew. This is true. Oh my goodness. I'm pre-AOL. I remember Commodore Blue Boards. Good, sweet, merciful, heavenly Savior. That, you know what? Yep, Dr. Falk's been around. Dr. Falk has been around. Probably had calculators with vacuum tubes. All that stuff. I love you, Dr. Falk. And Dr. Falk, thank you for the prayers, and really sincerely thank you for the message on Facebook and stuff, and asking for things that you could offer me up in prayer. Really, that touched my heart and humbled me. And it was very, very kind of you. And I know that you have been praying for me along with your wonderful wife. And it's very, very appreciated. You are wonderful, beautiful people. And I wish you all the best, and pray that God blesses you as well abundantly and loving your content. So thank you, Dr. Falk, for being here and contributing and being part of the environment. And I'm glad you're getting something out of the content too. You're a great asset. We love seeing you in side chat. We love knowing that you're around, and fully respect your scholarship and theological awareness. And it's a wonderful thing to see your contribution. And you definitely enrich the shows with your presence and availability of information and such. So we really, truly appreciate you. This is one of my first jobs, was to work for one of AOL's competitors, Netcom. You are most welcome for the prayers. It is my pleasure. Thank you, Dr. Falk. Very, very kind. Very kind. Falk is a wonderful man, and very humbling to have him also a part of the environment along with Dr. Kenny. It's great. We love you guys, and we look to you guys as basically elders and teachers as well, and people that we all respect here in this community. You know, I always have your guys' back to inspire, respect, and even demand it if need be, directed at you guys, because you've certainly earned it. So absolutely, he has indeed praised. Completely agree. All right, guys. Well, God bless you. Thank you for being a part of the show. Appreciate it. I am going to bow out. I'm going to go make myself a yummy cheese and meat omelet for dinner. I'm going to get a little bit more of this paperwork done. It's almost tax season here, and I got a whole bunch of other, oh my goodness, various things, taxes, assets, and portfolio stuff, and things like that. All has to be balanced and dealt with, and it's a whole stinking thing. But working on it. Business never stops, one way or the other. Either the heavens business or personal business, and I seem to pretty much only have time in my life for those two things. So. But I hope you guys get a lot out of it. I hope you are focusing on doing all you can to store up blessings and rewards in heaven. We're going to finish this book. We might even finish it today. I might push through and get through it today. So stay tuned to the second channel. We're on chapter 7 of that heresy of the Grace Evangelical Society, and we only have a few chapters left, and I'd like to power through it. So we'll see how that goes. Maybe we can do that today. So thank you so much, guys. Peace of Christ to all the true saints. I love you with the heart of Christ. Be well, be safe, and I am signing out.